Cruises have gotten very expensive, but what if I told you there's a way to save up to 80% on your sailing? You found the channel to get tips and tricks on how to make your cruise cheaper. I share my experiences using casino loyalty programs to save a ton on each and every sailing. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell to find out when the next video comes out. So cruising has gotten very expensive. If you've been booking a cruise and doing the planning, you can see how much it costs now. For Royal Caribbean, if you're a solo cruiser, you're looking at about $500 a day for fare, port fees, and taxes. That doesn't include your travel to the port. That doesn't include any extras you want to do like excursions or Wi-Fi or specialty dining or anything like that. So as you can see, it can get very expensive very quickly. I cruise for a heck of a lot less. I have been on 18 Royal Caribbean cruises in the last 5 years, and I have not paid a single penny for cruise fare. I've also leveraged my loyalty status with Royal Caribbean to get free cruises on Princess, Carnival, MSC, Virgin Voyages, and Margaritaville. So on my 18 Royal comps, I have lost a grand total of $4,400 in the casino over those 5 years. So when you average that out, that's about $45 a day to pay zero fare. Then you add the fact that I've been on a lot of cruises where I've gotten balconies, ocean views. Those things are higher per day, so that's even a bigger savings. And then all of the other cruises I've gotten for free from other lines that I used my Royal Caribbean status, that's additional days. So that is pushing this dollar amount down even further. I wouldn't say I'm incredibly lucky either. I'm just having an average level of luck. My return to player on Royal Caribbean usually hovers between 80 and 90%, and it can be quite a bit lower. And then of course I have cruises where I do much better. So like I said, $500 a day for a solo cruiser is the norm for cruise fare on Royal Caribbean. And if you start adding things like specialty dining, a drinks package, excursions, all of those things, we're talking about serious money. I'm gonna tell you what I do to keep my total spend down to around $100 a day all in. That includes travel, tips, gratuities, all of those good things. Now, of course, you're not gonna do all of these things that I do. You may not be able to. For instance, if you have to travel far to the port, that's gonna cost you a bit more. If you're a foodie, you may just say, I really want the specialty dining package and go for that. If you know you're gonna drink quite a bit, you might go for the drinks package. But I've got a couple of tips to help you avoid buying that very expensive add-on. That can be almost $100 a day. So the first thing I recommend you do is hit Prime as soon as you possibly can. Hitting Prime is gonna unlock not only one free tier cruise, but it's also gonna unlock email marketing offers and free drinks when you're in the casino. That's a big one because anytime the casino is open, you can get a drink at the casino. You don't have to be actively playing. You don't have to wait for a waiter like in some of the other cruise lines. You can just walk up to the bar, get a drink, and be on your merry way. That is a huge benefit. Get to Diamond status on Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor program. This one is another big one. You get 4 free drinks a day with Diamond. You also get a bunch of discounts and other perks. So if you're Prime, you get free drinks in the casino and you get 4 free drinks a day other places around the ship. You're not gonna have to buy that expensive beverage package. So you might be thinking, well, I'm only like gold right now. I have 5 points. It's 80 points to Diamond. That's gonna take forever. Well, not necessarily, especially if you're cruising solo like I did. I hit Diamond in 2 years because you get double the points. So if you're on a 7-night cruise, you're not only going to get your 7 points, you'll also get the 7 points that the person who would be in that cabin would get. So you're getting 14 points. So you can see how it can quickly accumulate and you can get up to that 80-point gate and unlock 4 free drinks a day around the ship. So my other recommendation would be cruise local if possible. I know this is a tough one if you're not in Florida, if you're not near Galveston, if you're not near LA, or maybe in Bayonne, New Jersey, or in that area. It might be hard. So you might have to bite the bullet and pay airfare to get to the cruise ship. But If you're in a place like New York, you may want to just focus on cruises out of New Jersey. Get off-site parking. So if you're cruising, for instance, out of Miami, you're paying $25 to $30 per day for parking. That is obscene. That is so expensive. However, if you look around and do your research, you can find off-site parking with shuttles for as low as like $7 a day. Big savings there. Use your cruise line's credit card. This is one that I wish I would have started doing a lot sooner, but I have the Bank of America Royal Caribbean Visa, and every point you earn is basically a penny towards onboard credit, or you can put it towards fare or whatever else you want to do with Royal Caribbean. So I use that card as my primary card. I do things like buy groceries, anything I need to buy, even bigger expenses, I put on that card and I convert those points to onboard credit. My next sailing on Freedom of the Seas is May 12th, and I've accumulated another $100 in onboard credit, which will help me because I can use that to gamble. If you love coffee, get the coffee card. Keep your eyes out on the Royal Caribbean website because occasionally they will put the coffee card on sale, and this could save you up to 50% off of things like lattes, macchiatos, those kinds of things if you like specialty coffees. Now, if you really want to go on the cheap, just drink the free coffee and save yourself a bundle. Don't go for instant certificates. So instant certificates are if you earn a certain amount of points while you're gambling on a cruise, you will get an instant certificate, which will have a list of free cruises that you can take based on your point level. Now on short cruises, sometimes they start at 800 points. Generally speaking, they go at 1200, 1500 and on from there, and the offers get better as you go. A lot of people cruise on instant certificates, but this typically is a more expensive way to earn comps. I say that the rule of thumb is $1 that you put into the machine, not cycle through, but physically put into the machine, is generally speaking 1 point if you're having average luck. So if you get a 1200 point certificate, you are putting $1,200 into that investment, into that certificate. So you are still probably doing okay, especially if you cruise solo, because the cruise that you get is probably going to cost you $2,000, $3,000, but you're still spending quite a bit more. I recommend getting marketing offers to get your cruises. That's almost exclusively how I cruise for free. There are emails, and also you get some mailers every once in a while, and they'll give you a bunch of cruises that you can redeem, usually for you and a guest, or you can cruise solo as well. Occasionally, these marketing offers will also come with free play. I've got videos on ADT, which is how you get your marketing offers, all about spending more time in the casino and how you spend less in the casino. I'll link those in the description. But here's a couple of tips for pursuing the ADT marketing offer method of getting comps. Pick low volatility machines. I've got several videos on my channel that are ship-based that show you the machines that I like to play on those ships that tend to be lower volatility. But if you want to discover this for yourself, what I suggest you do is maybe put $20 into a machine. Of course, minimum bet. I always recommend you minimum bet. And see how your payback is. If you're getting a ton of dead spins, I don't recommend sticking with that machine. However, if you're getting line hits, every time, every second time, if you're getting your bet back or a little bit more, that's a machine you can be pretty sure is lower volatility, and that's going to allow you to play longer at the casino, which is better for your ADT, which will increase your chances of getting good marketing offers. Don't linger or chase pots. I really try to avoid this. Of course, sometimes I get caught doing it, but I really try to walk away. If you've invested like $80 on a machine, you're trying to get that big juicy pot to pop and get the bonus, and it's just not happening, you just need to cut your losses. I'm sure you've experienced it. I know I have, where you're at that situation. You say, I'm going to get that. You end up putting another $100 in, you trigger the bonus, and you win $20 on the bonus. It's not a winning proposition. If a machine isn't paying you back, if it's not giving you a bonus, don't invest a lot of money in it. Get up, there's a ton of other machines to play. This one is the biggest tip. Please listen to this tip, it's so important. Set a budget before you get on the ship and stick to it. Now you can set a daily budget or you can set a cruise budget. I set a budget of $100 a day. I don't always stick to it, but I'm pretty disciplined and that's helped me get farther on this journey and spend less. If you hit your $100 for the day, just leave the casino. You could do the cruise-based budget where let's say you're on a 7-day and you have a $700 budget and the first day doesn't go good, you burn through your $100 and you decide to dig a little bit deeper into your bankroll. I don't recommend this though, because if you have a first bad couple days and you lose your entire bankroll, now you're gonna be tempted for that last 5 days to continue playing. Additionally, your ADT is gonna look pretty bad. So I do recommend sticking to a daily budget. And like I said, with my method, minimum bets, lower volatility machines, I find $100 a day is more than adequate. Don't get the specialty dining. Now, there are a couple of exceptions to this. If you're a big foodie, you're gonna wanna get that. Maybe you just get the steakhouse on its own, but the specialty dining package is pretty expensive and that's gonna boost your per day average spent. If you're on some other ships like Carnival or Princess, they've got a lot of really great free dining options. Royal Caribbean, unfortunately, has really monetized dining. I found their quality of their free fare has gotten worse and worse, and their amount of paid dining has gone up more and more. So for Royal, it's a little bit harder to follow this, but if you really want to be frugal, I do recommend you just stick to the free fare. If you really want to do an excursion, don't buy the cruise line's excursion packages. This one's risky, so you have to be very careful and do your research because you do not want to have the ship leave without you. A really good tip that I've learned is you find out what company is providing the cruise line's excursions, and then you contact them directly and you book your excursion. If there are people on your ship that are on the same excursion as you, the ship will not leave if something happens and you don't get back in time. There are a bunch of sites that can help you navigate getting excursions outside of the cruise line. Now, if you're a rookie with cruise ships, I do recommend you just foot the bill if you really want to go on an excursion and do it with the cruise lines. But if you invest a little time before your cruise, you can save like 50% on excursions. Wi-Fi. Now, I work a lot on the cruise ship, so I really need reliable Wi-Fi wherever I am on the ship. So I generally foot the bill, but Wi-Fi is like $25 a day for a single device. That's a lot of money. If you don't need to be tied to the internet and be on it every second of the day, I do highly recommend you use an eSIM, something like GigSky. GigSky uses the ship's cell towers to provide you with internet, and it is much cheaper. Instead of spending $25 a day, you could spend $50 a cruise. Now, the proviso with this is that you won't get cell signal inside the ship, so you'll have to be near a window or on a deck in order to use the internet. But if you're only checking occasionally, this could be a good option for you. Another bonus with GigSky is when you get a Caribbean package, you're going to be able to use your cell service on land in many countries. That gives you an extra layer of security when you're out and about in Mexico or Nassau or wherever you may be in the Caribbean. I'll give you a link to my GigSky promo code where you can save 10%. So like I said, instead of me paying $500 or $600 a day to cruise, I pay about $100 a day. That is a huge savings. And if you use some of these tips and tricks, you can do the same. I've linked some relevant videos in the description to get you started on things like ADT, what machines to play, and some other things I've discovered on this journey to cruising for less using casino comps. Please consider liking this video if you found it valuable, and of course, subscribe and click the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. Thanks for watching.